Oh, okay. It looks like today you have changed your. There was one with your picture and your name and.
Eh,
Oh, okay. That was is it. Judith. Is it Alifa or what?
that's not Judith. Judith. I've forgotten their surname,
Oh, okay.
but we are two different Judith on the platform.
Mm, okay. So we are looking at today. We are looking at 21st century competencies or skills of a 21st of a professional geography teacher. 21st century competencies of a professional geography teacher. And it's my belief that by the time we end the discussion today, we'll be able to appreciate some of these 21st century competencies, acclimatize ourselves with it, and also be able to influence our learners to also develop same skills or competencies. So, uh, we'll set the ball rolling since I have a meeting a meeting to attend at 9. So I don't intend to exhaust all the 3 or 4 hours. Uh-huh. Now we are saying that in today's fast changing world, professional geography teachers are expected to be equipped or prepared for the 21st century world of work, which means that there are a number of things that they need to be equipped with so far as for them to succeed in the 21st century world that we live in. Because now we have established the fact that we live in a global village where what happening in one country, which is not even far from you, must be of much concern because it can also affect you. When Ghana, we never thought that COVID, which was happening far away in China, could get to us. But at the end of the day, we became victims of those happenings. That is the nature of globalization. Look at what is happening with the Israel, US, Israel, Iran war. And now look at how things are also unfolding. So these are all things that are happening, which we cannot be an isolation. Hence, there is a need for us to be equipped with these global happenings, and we need a various skill set, the various experiences, and the competency that will let us be able to be in tune with 21st century happening. We're also saying that these competencies help learners to keep up with today's fast-paced job market. But these competencies are very critical for job market, especially issues of soft skills. It also helps geography teachers and learners navigate through complex and changing workplace. Hence, acquiring 21st century competencies in senior high schools requires a change in pedagogy and learning. So it requires a change from the way we have been doing things so far as teaching is concerned and learning is concerned at various classrooms to a point where we adopt a 21st century techniques or strategy that will help us achieve the stipulated goal. Now, what are some of these 21st century competencies or skills? The first one I want to talk about is critical thinking and problem solving competency or skills. And here we are saying that as a teacher, you should be this in developing critical thinking skills and problem solving, we are talking about the ability to question norms, practices, and opinions to reflect one's own values, perceptions, and actions. And that is why I always tell parents that do not query your kids who questions a lot. When they begin to ask questions about everything they see, everything they want to ask questions, they want to find out why. Allow them. It is a way of developing their ability to think, analyze things, and be able to solve problems. It also involves ability to use reasoning skill to come to a logical conclusion. So what are some of the things that as a teacher you must adapt to help them in the use of these critical thinking skills? It also ensures how you are able to model a lesson that will ensure that they will use their mental ability or faculty to be able to reason through, analyze, and be able to decide between issues, alternatives, and come with solutions. It is also about being able to consider different perspectives and viewpoints. That's why when students come to your class with different views, with different perspectives, different angles of issues, don't see them as people who have not told your line, but rather see it as an innovative way that students are also trying to contribute to the instructional activity or lessons that you have. Then also ability to take a position in a discourse. It should not be that all of us should go to one point in a classroom activity. Yes, some may agree to disagree. Let them justify why they hold that position or that view. And just where you need to shape them, you do so. But do not coerce students to go by your stand. No. Allow them to take a position in a discourse where they need be. And the only thing you need to let them help them justify or clarify why they took that position or otherwise. Also, the ability to differentiate, to apply different problem-solving frameworks to complex problems and develop viable, inclusive, and equitable solutions. That's why when you are using problem-based learning or fieldwork, they are able to localize problems, find out solutions that will help solve the contextual problem that they find within their vicinity. And the various alternatives to the solutions to the problem, while they investigate, they explore, they share ideas, they consult literature, books, and also interviews of respective stakeholders who are concerned in getting solutions to make, or findings or data to make input or to make inferences and generate reports for the needed solution to solve the problem. The next 21st century skill we want to talk about is creativity. Here, creativity, we are talking about ability to identify and solve complex problems through creative thinking, or to generate, or ability to generate ideas and innovative solutions to what? Problems. That's why I would say that at times you need to think outside the box. Even when people are complaining that they are not teaching learning resource for a particular topic, your ability to be able to think outside the box, to see beyond the normal, and sit to create a scenario, a situation, a pictorial view that help see your lesson through, is about creativity. Creativity is also about you being able to develop originality and flexibility in approaching tasks or challenges, so that you are not so much fixated on that one way of doing or attacking a problem, or so much fixated about what to do. But there should be flexibility, diverse ways, and also originality when it comes to your approach to challenges, issues, or problems that confront your classrooms, your learners, and the community you find yourself. We're also talking about the ability to incorporate feedback and criticisms into the creative process. Yeah, see, don't forget that in everything that you do, not everybody will love you. Not everybody will like what you are doing. So also appreciate the fact that, yes, there may be some criticisms. There may be some people who may raise concerns, issues of whatever you are doing. Some of them, the concerns may help shape you. Others too, it may not be of help. So what you need to do is to pay attention to the criticisms, issues that people raise, the ones that are beneficial to shape your work or to shape you. Make use of it. The ones that do not, let it go and make focus. You must also demonstrate your willingness to take risks and experiment with new approaches. These are very, very important things that I would like you to pay attention to. Then the next one we want to talk about is collaboration skill or competency. Collaboration skill or competency. And in collaboration, we are talking about the ability to learn from others, to understand and respect the needs, perspectives, and actions of others. You see, we all have established the fact that there are different ways that we all organize our thoughts and how we apply our knowledge, and so it influences how we also learn. So in every situation, in collaborating, you must appreciate your partner or your colleague or your team member or your learners' needs, who they are, their contributions, their actions, and also their views or perspective when it comes to classroom activity or group engagement or other forms of what issues. These things are very, very important in making sure that at the end of the day, you are able to show concern, what to call empathy, or be empathetic to the needs of others. It is also your ability to understand, relate to, and be sensitive to others' plight. See, some people, when their friends and their loved ones are in a hot soup, that's why they become happy and they begin to throw tantrums and make certain insinuations which does not really augur well, which even make the situation more murkier. So please, you must make sure that at the end of the day, you are able to calm down, put yourself in the shoes of others, that if it were to be you, how will you feel? If it were to be you, how will the other colleagues also feel? And these are very important things that you must appreciate and be able to be sensitive to the plight, needs, actions, and inactions of your colleagues, which may be good or bad. You must also be able to deal with conflict in a group. Since it's a group with people with different cultures, behaviors altogether, always there may be disagreement, there may be issue here and there. And so as a collaborator, you should have that spirit to be able to handle issues, disagreement, conflict when it merges in a group activity, be it in a classroom or whichever team you are working with. You yourself as a teacher, you should also be able to collaborate with your colleague teachers and be able to also resolve issues where they need be. See, and don't prolong issues. There are some teachers, they behave like a little thing that one must to let go. He wouldn't want to let go. He want to have issues with you to the extent that he will be, when you greet the person, he doesn't even want to respond. All these things are not, you see, are not things that this age and era you should be entertaining. Just let's go. Because after all, in this life, the question is, we all die one day. So just be so much concerned about life and let's go of things that could weigh you down. And let God judge his own people. Also, to facilitate collaborative and participatory problem solving, which is also another area that, you see, at times, what's two heads are better than one. So at times, it's better that we share ideas. That's why I like the concept of PLC. You see, the PLC concept is also to build that collaborative spirit, teamwork spirit, ability to share ideas, tolerate each other's views, and make progress within the subject area, especially where we do is a departmental base, maybe social science department, where subject area courses meet and be able to reflect on issues happening within their area. These are ways that challenges that is confronting one teacher could be shared and others could complement it by sharing ideas to help remedy the situation. Also, the ability to work with others to achieve a common goal. These are all areas that you can build your collaborative competencies or skills. Now we have what we call the communication skills or competencies. Communication skills or competencies. Here we are talking about specific literacy or language. You must know the specific language or literacy of the subject studied. So as a geography teacher, the question is, what is the language of your subject? What are the terminologies in your subject area? Like I said, most of geographic terminologies are Greek-oriented and Latin. So the question is, how familiar are you with geographical concepts and its meanings which differ from other English concepts that we generally know? So you need to be appreciate the language, the subject, the language subject of your area so that you use it appropriately and let people, learners also know and appreciate the meaning of them, and they can also be blessed in that angle. Also, we are talking about ability to engage in public speaking, debates, and written word communication. These are all forms of word communications that teachers must develop and also help learners develop these skills. That's why as a teacher, when you are even talking in the classroom, you have to be very mindful with your choice of words. Certain issues, terms you use, you cannot be using certain offensive words in the classroom. Like you are stupid, fool, those kind of things are not appropriate to be used in the classroom. And also issues of being aggressive. And at times you are talking as if you are at war with somebody. These things do not really send a good signal. Don't forget that we have already talked about hidden curriculum, where certain habits of the teacher, which is not intentionally spoken or consciously transmitted to students, by your actions and inaction, learners learn some of these behaviors. You must also communicate effectively and meaningfully in a Ghanaian language or what? English. Because English is our official language of instruction. So at least as a teacher, you should be able to use rightly the language of the nation and also your local dialect, which is very important. So that at least if you find yourself in other areas, you can also be able to speak the language. I remember I told you that I went to do some research in a particular community where the teacher who happens to be teaching at class 4 is not an ever, he's a fanti. Then he's teaching an ever community, ever classroom. So some of the things that he speaks, the children don't get it. So one of the child who can speak the fanti together with the ever has to stand in front of the class and translate what the teacher will be saying into an ever to the learners. And the question I was asking is that, how sure are you that what exactly you communicated is what this child is communicating to his colleagues? What if he's giving them a puffy? What is giving them a wrong information? You, the teacher, too, cannot know whether what is communicating is the right or not. And this can be a serious issue. What if it's even inciting students to attack you? So at least that's why it is important that as the ministry through GS look at postings to such areas and their backgrounds and where these people can what cannot even speak ever. So you cannot look at their name to say that okay, because you are Dijoji, Anna Agbana, Anna you are Prosper, and all those kind of things, blessing and all those. So you the person is a Equatorian. No, at times you go beyond that and even check. And also when they are filling from, they even indicate like languages they can speak, local languages that they can speak. So these are all things that you can check to make sure that whatever teach whoever that you are transferring to the classroom is able to reflect and deliver. You must also communicate confidently, ethically, and effectively in different social contexts. Yes, you see, apart from the school, the community you also live in, you are a role model there. And so your behavior in the community is very, very important. So it is not only the school that you must be very ethical in your dealings, that you must be very circumspect, but also in the community that you live in. Because in that community can also reign your behavior and your reputation or your attitude. So these are very important things that teachers, you don't have to joke with, but you have to pay attention to some of these issues. You must also communicate confidently and effectively to different participants in different contexts. Yes, that's why I see you must be careful how you treat your learners because of where they come from, because of their socio-economic background or status, because they can pay among others. See, when you do that, you are discriminating, and that becomes a problem. And students do not like where teacher tends to discriminate against their colleagues. When you do that, you are sending a bad signal or precedence which can come to haunt you sometimes. Come. So ability to communicate effectively verbally, non-verbally, and through writing, yes, which is so obvious. And all these things, we use them in the classroom. Verbal communication, like what we are doing, non-verbal, either through gestures, signals, among others, then through writing. Then we have learning for life. Learning for life skills or competencies. We have always established that life is a continuous process. Hence, as a leader, we say that the day that you cease to learn, you cease to lead. That means that as a teacher, you must continually learn. You must continually explore. You must continually engage in new areas of your subject so that you become up to date with things that are happening in your subject area. So we are saying that you must understand your subject content and apply in different contexts. Very, very important. You must also apply your mathematical and scientific concepts in daily lives. So those concepts, facts, and generalizations that you have learned in geography, how are you contextualizing it in your life? What is the relevance of those things in your daily lives? Is it having a positive influence in your life or otherwise? How are these things reflecting in your attitude? Don't forget that we have said that learning is said to take place where we see a relatively permanent change in knowledge, your thought processes, or your behavior or your attitude. You must also demonstrate mastery of skills in literacy, numeracy, and digital literacy. Yes. And also you must develop an inquiry-based approach to continual learning. Continual learning. which are very important. You should also be able to understand higher order concepts and corresponding principles, participate in creative use of expressive arts, and engage in aesthetic appreciation of various objects or entities. Very, very important. In fact, these things are things that enable you, that you keep on learning, you keep on achieving the best that you have. So if you look at there are a number of it, especially when it comes to the lifelong learning. In fact, there are a number of them in the material that you can also pay attention to. Okay. Now let's look at global. But before that, any question? Let's pause. If you have any question, let me hear you. Or contribution to it, let me hear you. Okay. Global and local citizenship competency. So if you remember in my intro, I told you that now we live in a global village where whatever is happening in someone's country must concern you, because at the end of the day, it can come to haunt you. You may think that, oh, it's far away, but it's really near you. And if you remember, when we were talking about curriculum studies, the determinant, we said that the development on international arena is one of the things that is even influencing our education. Like when they wanted us to incorporate comprehensive sexuality education in our education system. Recently, we were told that some of these excerpts have found their way in some of our books. These are all things agenda from the developed world. Issue of competency-based learning, learner-centered. Now we are talking about competency-based 21st century skills, all among others. These are things that are all indicative of things happening around the globe that we are also made to learn or to replicate in Ghana here. And these are very, very important things that teachers, we need to appreciate it and making sure that we also come to terms with them. That's why if you must be paying attention as a geography scholar about the things, the geopolitical issues that are happening. That are happening within the other countries, because it gives you a proper horizon about the whole happenings, and now you can also relate to these happenings as well. So when we say we should be able to appreciate and respect Ghanaian identity, culture, and what heritage. Now, most of us Ghanaians, we do not really, we have missed it. We do not even know our identity. And we are always following foreign, 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 foreign. Like someone will say, if you are sorry, according a Bronia wow, and our local things, we don't see the value of it. See, these things are things that we need to have a real look at. Some be conscious of current global issues. Be conscious of current global issues. Be conscious of current global issues. Emphasis, be conscious of current global issues. And current global issues, as a geography teacher, you must be conscious. Because these things borders your area and relate well with people from different cultures. Yes, we need to relate well with people with different cultural backgrounds, experiences, different jurisdictions all together, and how they are able to sail through the things that we do. So, my teachers, we need to be conscious of current global issues. We must also act in favor of the common good, social cohesion, and social justice. In fact, as for Ghana here, the rate of injustice is very high. People only get justice, they say, based on their pockets. Yesterday, I saw a post. Someone was saying that I think A plus was saying that now in Ghana, justice delivery is about your pocket. So, how come Agrada could get that bill and others could just, who do not have the well without, are languishing in jail? Some of them, they have not even determined their cases. They are still in custody. See, and these things do not really augur well. We should always be mindful of about the common good and always pay attention to the great of others. Okay. Yes, Stephen. Yes. Good morning. Well, I'm letting you know. Yeah, I'm letting you are not online. They say they're teaching geography now. Your people are there. Your people are there. Stephen is calling me that I've not started. Now I'm saying then you are so he has misplaced. He has missed his way. So you should call him to order. You must also have the requisite personal and social skills to handle changes in society. You see, all these things we are talking about, learners we are training to become what is the ultimate goal? Is for them to be responsible contributors in the society. It's for them to reconstruct the society. It's for them to transform the society that we live in, so that the aspect of the society that needs to be changed will change, and the aspect that needs to be preserved will be preserved. Hence, as teachers, if you do not have an appreciation of your local context, your culture, your identity, your heritage, and things that makes you unique from other areas, how can you translate these or help learners to also acquire these in order to change the society? That is why I see as teachers, we must be very concerned about various communities we find ourselves where we are doing our teaching, whether you are from there or not. The fact that you are there teaching, you must have a role to play in the development of the area, which is very, very important. You must also appreciate the impact of globalization on the society. The impact of globalization on the society. We know that globalization has brought a lot of effects, both positive and what negative. But it appears that the negative tends to outweigh the positives. So, in as much as that we live in a society that whatever happens around the globe affects us, we need to be mindful of these impacts and the kind of cultures, the kind of behaviors, the kind of things that we communicate to our learners, which also affect their behaviors and attitude in the communities that they find themselves. Also, we are talking about ability to be an honest global citizens with leadership skills and moral fortitude to understanding the wider world and how to enhance Ghana's standing as a citizen of the country. The next skill we want to talk about is system thinking competency or skill. System thinking competency or skill. And here we are saying that we are the system is just from the system skills. The system we did the nature of geography, system approach. So here we say that the ability to recognize and understand relationship that exists between what various parts and components. So that at the end of the day, you can able to systematize. So you break these various components down and try to make sense and understand what goes on in each of them. So it is important that as teachers, we develop these skills and also be able to analyze complex systems. We know that complex systems are systems with various parts interrelated, interconnected to the extent that it becomes very difficult to be able to easily discern the various trends and patterns of that system. But through the system thinking, we're able to identify these parts of the system and work according to the various parts and see how they work collectively to achieve the greater goal in a system approach analysis. We're also talking about the ability to think of how systems are embedded within different domains and different skills. So when we're talking about domains of learning, we're talking about cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. How are these system thinking be reflective in there? Where the learner's cognitive aspects, how is he able to analyze various concept facts and show the various relationship that exists between various entities, objects. Likewise, in terms of issues that borders on the psychomotor skill, to apply this theoretical knowledge in various skills contexts, and also that of the affective. Having known these concepts and knowledge, how does it translate in you appreciating the environment, the culture, the society you find yourself, and how all these things can be developed as well. So these are all some of the things that we need to pay attention to in that direction. We're also talking about ability to deal with uncertainty. No one can predict tomorrow, what may happen tomorrow. And since you do not hold the key to tomorrow, only God knows what may happen. So you are able to live a life or orient your learning in such a way that whatever happens tomorrow, there can be a way to navigate through. And since you do not own your life and do not know what will happen tomorrow, I tell my people that, Charlie, any day that you have opportunity to live, assume that that is the only day that you have, and live your life like you have no other day, because you are not promised tomorrow. Every new day is a new gift of life that God has given, that you need to appreciate it and make it holy as well. So these are some of the things that you must help orient our learners so far as their system thinking skills are concerned. And see, we also have normative competencies. Normative competencies. And in normative competencies, we are talking about the ability to understand and reflect on the norms and values that underline one's actions. So you see, at times, a number of oh, yeah, please, no, in fact. A minute, I'm coming. So what we are saying is that inability to understand and reflect on the norms and values of that values that underline one's action. You see, learners do certain things based on certain orientations and understanding that they have. That's why at times, no, don't be in the haste of just punishing, but try to understand why he did what he did. Based on that, you are in a position to either determine the kind of punishment or whether the kind of things that you take the child through. You see, no child will just stand up and say, well, I want to fool, I want to misbehave. And in all that they do, they come to terms to appreciate certain things. So it is important that you always try to first understand, ask why certain things happened, even among yourself as colleagues, teachers. At times you need to appreciate why your colleagues do the things they do, why they say the things they say, so that at the end of the day, you will not judge people wrongly, but you get to hear them first and be able to make a valid judgment about why they did what they did and not crucify them unjustly. Also, we're talking about ability to negotiate values, principles, goals, and targets in the context of conflict of interest and trade-offs, uncertain knowledge, and contradictions. In fact, at times you have to let go of certain things in order to be able to become who you want to become. So in economics, they will tell you that opportunity cost is also the sacrifices you make or things that you forgo in order to achieve other equally other goods or services. So you see, at times in life, it's not everything that you have to follow. It's not everything that you have to pay attention to it. When you are valued, you have your value, your principles, and your goals and your target set up. You don't let certain distractors distract you from where you are going. Unless you are someone that you don't know where you are going, that's where any wind can blow you to any direction. So what I want to encourage is that as teachers, if we are guided by our principles and rules and goals, we should be able to stick to our position. Let our yes be our yes, our no be our no, and let's be firm on avoid flip-flopping. At one point you are this, at another point you are flip-flopping. No, that doesn't really augur well or sound good for a teacher like you. And when you still even get to know that this is who you are not consistent. Always you are flip-flopping. At one point you are this, at another point, it doesn't really even send a good signal for them to trust you as their teacher.
Doc,
Yes, please.
sir, please, this Stephen, I just joined the link. Sir, please, is the call being recorded?
Yes,
Okay, sir.
it's being recorded. In fact, the code guy was the first person to join when I entered the class 7 o'clock. The code guy was the first person, so it's being recorded. So we are talking about anticipatory competence, and all these things I'm talking about. You may have some of these items in the quiz too, and even the exams. You have some questions on these things. So in anticipatory skills or competencies, we are saying that we are looking at the ability to understand and evaluate multiple features, possible, probably, and what desirable. You see, in every day activity or in every classroom, in any form of analysis or investigation of phenomenon or occurrence, there are possible causes. And they are probable and desirable ones. So as a teacher, you must give opportunity for learners to be able to explore, evaluate themselves, and also you being able to guide them to do that. Because one thing you need to take note is that in every situation or every happening, there are probable causes in there. There are certain actions and inactions that may not be desirable. That's why you don't need to be one way. That's why you don't need to always stick to what you believe or what you think. At times you need to be flexible, tone down, and look at other perspectives from learners so that you get multiple or diverse views to influence your thinking and your understanding of reality. These things goes a long way to make sure that you are a teacher who is not so rigid, who is not so static, but someone who is flexible and easily able to adapt and that have that what we call the learnable or the teachable spirit. Unlike those who want to prove to the fact that they have the final authority or the final say in everything that they do. That really does. We're also talking about in anticipatory, we're also talking about ability to create one's vision for the future. That's why I say anticipatory. You're anticipating into the future. So always find out from your learners. You ask them, what would they want to do in life? A number of them will mention so many professions. But when you ask them, how will you get there? What are the things you are supposed to do? They will give you procedures or areas that by the time you realize it will not even take them there. The fact that they have been able to share that vision with you, it is your responsibility as a teacher to guide and help them, to coach, to mentor them to get to that goal that they want to be. As a teacher, you must also have a vision for your learners. How do you want to see your learners in the near future? Do you want to see them to people who do not, that when you see them, they will be afraid of, shy of you? Or do you want to see people that when they see you, they'll be proud that you are their teacher? So it's not enough to let learners also have visions of their own as what they anticipate to, what they want to be in life. But you, the teacher, must also have a vision for your learners. Because you are mentoring them, you are catching them, they are going to pass through your hand. We're also talking about ability to apply precautionary what principles. In every decision, in every activity, in every task, there should be precautionary measures, so that in case of, as someone say, in case of incasity, or in case of any unforeseen happenings, any unpredictable things that may occur, these measures can be put in place to subside the situation or contain the situation. Because like I said, you are not God, you are not machine to be able to predict what may happen and to how to handle all these issues. That's why precautionary measures are very, very important. So ability to assess the consequences of actions and ability to deal with risk and changes. All these things are things that your learners must be well equipped, so that as they go back to the society, how are they going to fit in there? How these things are going to reflect, and how are they going to be able to risk takers? Because in life, if you fail to take risks, you cannot make progress in life. That's why business people always want to take risks, because it's part of business environment, activity, or task to take risk. Just that the risk you are taking should not be such that it will end up collapsing your business totally. No. Now, strategic competency. Strategic competency, we are talking about ability to collectively develop and implement innovative actions that further cause to develop innovative, collectively develop and implement innovative course actions that further a course at the local level and beyond. This can be achieved when you also engage your students in a problem-solving situation where you provide either a problem to them or a structure problem, or you provide a scaffolding, or you guide the learners to discover the problem, and you guide them to be able to investigate, to get information, literature, secondary data, be able to put pieces of the information together to analyze and be able to generate a report to help solve that issue. So when they are doing that, there should be timelines. You see, the issue is talking about strategic. And so in every strategic dealing, there should be specific timelines attributed to events and how it must be. Well, that's why when you give those tasks, you must attribute timelines to it so that learners should be guided and work within the time for able to achieve their tasks altogether. But you don't leave them ajar. Also, we are talking about ability to understand the bigger picture and the implications of the smaller actions on them. So all these pieces of orientation and information and exercises, projects, the ultimate is that to develop learners with a 21st century mindset, knowledge and experiences, attitude that will help change their space or their world and be able to live in a 21st century world full of challenges and constraints. That is all these ultimate, that education and training of learners and institutions seeks to achieve. We are also talking about self-awareness as part of the strategic competency. So self-awareness, the ability to be able to identify your own self, your emotions, your feelings, your personality, and also be able to acknowledge others as well. And these are one of the things that we need to inculcate in our learners. That is why in the various standard base, there is this concept of social emotional learning, which is very integral in the standard based curriculum, be it for the senior high school or saying that learners must be able to help to identify their emotions, their self, their feelings, their emotions and sensitivities, and also acknowledge that of their colleagues and help them get the best out of them as learners. The same way as a teacher, you must also be able to identify yourself. Who are you? Your emotions, your feelings, your sensitivity, so that you can relate well with your colleague teachers, so that you can relate well with your students. Some of you, when you are annoyed, you come to school and you vent your anger on the students as if it's your learners who provoked you. If it's your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or girlfriend triggered you, you don't go to the school to vent it on your learners. Vent it on your husband or your boyfriend or your wife or your girlfriend. What has learning has to do with that? So some of you, when you go and even a little thing, then you'll be shouting on the student as if that they are the source of your problem. They are not. The ability to also reflect on one's own role in the local community and the global society. You see, for example, those if you have been transferred to, let's say, a community in a Ashanti region or whatever region you have been posted to, the question is, what is your role in that community? Gone are the days teachers were seen as a master of all knowledge in communities. Everything they want to consult the teacher. Everything they want to consult the teacher. Whether you did that or you did not do that course, they want to consult you. Now, the question is, the community that you find yourself, what is your role in developing that community? What is your role in developing the human resource of that community? What is your contribution to the community? so that tomorrow, if you are not in that community, people can say that, when Madam Juliet was in that community, in fact, he really transformed our children. He really helped us. In fact, when Sir Isaac Pratt was in this community, oh, he really did marvelous well. And to the extent that they wouldn't even want to let you go. These are things that we expect you to, not just to go and teach in the classroom. Yes, teaching is one of the things, but you see, there are also other aspects that you must exhibit as a teacher, which include the local development as well. Okay. Mary, your hand was up. Let me hear you.
Doc,
Mary,
please, it was a mistake. Yes,
oh,
Doc, please,
okay.
it was a mistake. Sorry.
Okay. The ability to continually evaluate and further motivate one's actions. A minute, just a minute, I'm coming. Okay, the next one is the ability to continually evaluate and further motivate one's actions. I've already indicated that no action occurs without a cause or without a reason. And so at times, in our quest to sanction our students for misbehaving or exhibiting certain tendencies, it is important to give them hearing. Then after they are hearing, you can decide what to do. Other than that, when you do not do that, you may not know what triggered what he did. You must also be able to deal with one's feelings and desire. We are human beings with emotions, with feelings, mood swing, among others. That's why in the principles of learning, we said that learners' social, emotional, and cultural emotions can go a long way to affect how they learn. Hence, it is important that you need to appreciate these nuances of learners. Even as teacher, there are times that you may go to school and it's like you are not in a good mood. It may be a time that you go to school and it's like you feel like you are not in the right frame of mind to teach. But you are expected to teach as well. So just as you also have feelings, emotions that at times you are triggered, that at times your mood will swing, that at times when you are in your period, it triggers a whole lot of anxiety and a whole lot of complications. The same way learners also go through same. Hence, just as you want people to understand you, to put themselves in your shoes, the same way you must also understand your learners and put yourself in your shoes and help them appreciate the best that they can have in your classroom. So these are a number of competencies which they are not as though they are more that we have for various for you as a 21st century teacher to be able to utilize it in your classroom and in your life as well to achieve the best in your classroom and also in your class. Any question? Any question? Any question? Mm. Okay, then let's quickly look at the last unit. Then we end for today. That's on the last unit is on, I think, TPAC. So one of the this is the last unit, technological pedagogical content knowledge, what we call TPAC. As a professional teacher, this is one of the key area that you must be well equipped. So want to quickly look at it, what goes on in each of them, and how we can see ourselves as teachers in being equipped and develop our learners as well. Yeah, we are saying that the word TPAC is an acronym which stands for Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge. And the essence of this model, which was developed by two scholars, professors, Punya Mishra and that of Mata Kola. And these were all professors in Michigan State University. So they developed these two professors developed the model TPAC. And it is a model that identifies the various types of knowledge that teachers need to master in order to integrate ICT or technology in their effective way in teaching that will impart, that they seek to impart in their learners or help their learners develop. So it is a model of teaching and learning that identifies the types of knowledge that a teacher needs to master in order to integrate ICT in an effective way in the teaching that he seeks to impart. Now, there are 7 sources or components of the TPAC model. There are 7 sources which we are going to look at them one by one and try to see what goes on in each of them. But we are saying that for effective technology integration, geography teachers are expected to possess not only content knowledge, you need pedagogical knowledge, then technological content knowledge, technological pedagogical knowledge, and technological pedagogical content knowledge, so that you can fully be able to integrate these technologies in your various subjects and methods or strategies that you employ in your classroom. Now, the first one I want to talk about is the content knowledge. And here, when we say content knowledge, we are talking about the teacher's understanding of the subject matter. And in our context, the teacher's understanding is talking about the geography. What is your understanding about the subject geography? What is the appreciation? Do you have a thorough knowledge of your subject in terms of its organizing centers, its structure and organization? Do you have a thorough knowledge of it? So you all know that in geography, there are various aspects. We have the physical geography, which include geomorphology, climatology, biology, and others. We have human geography, population, settlement, economic systems, among others. We have environmental geography, which deals with geospatial concepts like space, scale, place, region, and practical geography. So we are saying that the content knowledge is where the teacher must be well equipped, must have mastery or command over the subject he teaches. Eh, eh,
Doc, Baba said.
oh, Besremi.
Doc. Crispin, please, why are you crying?
I'm crying because of what Augustine said.
Oh, Augustine, sorry, pa, why?
Okay, welcome from commercial break. Stay with me, so we are saying that geography teachers must understand and have mastery of geographic concept, values, facts, principles, attributes, and various generalizations in your subject area. So that when you stand and you are speaking, we know that yes, you are really an expert in the area of your subject. So there's no substitute for sound knowledge of the subject matter. And if your knowledge is suspect, your teaching techniques will invariably be what? Suspect. Because see, if you are the type that you always shy away, that you don't really know your left from right, how do you tell me, say, oh, as for you, you specialize in human geography? First degree, is there any specialization in human geography? Then you come and say the work degree was gone. Yeah, you specialize in human geography. So who should come and do the physical and the map one? It's because he's suspect when it comes to physical and map work. So he quickly want to hide away by saying that he specializes in human geography. In Ghana, which university will let you say that come and specialize in human geography, first degree? And this is a lady. The next is pedagogical knowledge. Pedagogical knowledge. Yeah, the pedagogical knowledge is referring to the principles, approaches, and strategies for conveying the content. For conveying the content. Having the content knowledge, the question is, how do you make it available to students? There's a through a medium, there's through a vehicle, and that vehicle is your pedagogy. The pedagogy, we are talking about the various approaches, the teaching strategies, the methods, the principles that helps you to convey the content to the learners. So that is why you need to understand the instructional design, your instructional design, learning theories, because the learning theories will tell you how students learn. There are various stages and characteristics, and how you can help achieve these as well. So you cannot just be equipped with only the content knowledge, but also you must appreciate the various pedagogical strategies, especially in this 21st century, which helps learners to be able to get the best out of their learning. So the classroom strategies and even assessment approaches are all important. So in geography, some geographic pedagogical strategies are problem-based learning, field work. In fact, as for problem-based, I will even bring it to exams. Field work, experiential learning, collaborative learning, and collaborative mapping activities, case study analysis are all methods or strategies that you can use to ensure that learners construct their own knowledge and develop the skills that they need to. Also, the appropriate use of pedagogical techniques should help students to observe, record, correlate both primary and secondary data so far as their investigation or studies are concerned. You can also use the use of maps, pictures, books, among others in their studies. And that is pedagogical knowledge. Now, when we come to technological knowledge or technology knowledge, here we are talking about the ability of the teacher to be able to use digital tools, resources such as geographical tools such as GIS, remote sensing tools, Google Earth, spatial data, visualization software, learning management systems. In fact, there are a lot of climate change tools that are also being used. There is this course I'm going to design for Presby, short course, certificate in climate change education and sustainability. You see that there are a number of climate kits that are available for learners or students to use to appreciate the concerns of climate change. So we are saying that technology is very dynamic and requires continuous professional development. The truth of the matter is that day in and day out, new things are unfolding so far as technology is concerned. So that's why we are saying that it's dynamic, and for that matter, it requires continuous professional updating. Now, gone are the days we have ChatGTP. Now there are different versions of it. There are different versions of AIs in the system, which are very, very important that as geography teachers, you must also be in the know of it and how you can utilize them in your activities to aid your learners learn. Then we have pedagogical content knowledge, which refers to the integration of content and pedagogical knowledge together, blending the two. That is how to teach geography concept effectively. So, for example, explaining plate tectonics using diagrams and animations, or teaching population pyramid through data interpretation. So here you are combining the content, which is population pyramid. Then you are using through a data interpretation activity to achieve that. And you are using diagrams and animation tectonics formation or movements. Then we have technological content knowledge. So TCK is the integration of technology and content knowledge in your subject area. So in this context, we are talking about geography. So it involves understanding geographic knowledge. So for example, such as using GIS for spatial pattern analysis. Using GIS, that's Geographical Information System, to conduct spatial pattern analysis. That's a typical example of technological content knowledge. So you are using GIS as a technological tool to conduct what we call spatial pattern analysis, which is content knowledge. Also using satellite imagery to explain land use change detection. And you can also be using digital elevation models to analyze what we call the relief, to do relief analysis. So these are all examples of technological content knowledge areas so far as geography is concerned that you can use. Then we have technological pedagogical knowledge. So this is the integration of technological and pedagogical knowledge, and it concerns with how teaching strategies evolve with technology use. So example, when you are using virtual field work simulations, it's a typical example of using technological pedagogical. So please note some of these examples very well, because I think in your second quiz, I bring some of these examples, and I'll let you determine which of the knowledge does it fall under. So take note of that. So we have interactive spatial storytelling, online collaborative mapping are all examples of technological pedagogical knowledge that geography teachers can use in their instructional activity. Then we have the technological pedagogical content knowledge. So this is the integration of content knowledge, pedagogy, knowledge, and technological knowledge. And this is a holistic and evolving form of knowledge that transcends the individual domains of content, pedagogy, and technology. And this arises from the integration and interaction of these three areas, forming a specialized understanding, which are essential for effective teaching with technology. So this is the diagram by Mishra and Kula, the development of the model that we have. And what we are saying in conclusion is that the framework or the model proposes that the geography teacher needs not only to possess the basic knowledge in an isolated or independent way, but must also possess them in interaction. That means that what we are trying to say is that it is not enough to have content knowledge. You also need the technology to help you translate your content. And even if the technology is available, there's that pedagogy, activity, resources, the activity or strategy that are also needed. So you need a blend of all the three categories, be it technological, pedagogical, content, knowledge, to interplay to be able to get you the holistic view of the knowledge you want to provide to your learners. So that's why I would say that the TPAC is not merely a sum of its parts, rather it represents a distinct framework that enables geography educators to meaningfully use technology in the classroom. And so we have mentioned some of the digital tools that can be used. So this includes knowing how to represent subject matter using digital tools, applying pedagogical strategies that effectively incorporate technology, recognizing learning challenges, and how technology can address them and understand. Hey, Stephen, you are disturbing us. So Stephen, mute you. And how technology can address them and understand learners' background and their epistemological belief. When we say epistemology, we are talking about what constitutes a body of knowledge, so what they believe knowledge to be, which is very important to learners. It also involves using technology to build on what students already know and to foster new ways of thinking. So these are some of the things that we want you to appreciate as teachers and scholars, so far as your knowledge, pedagogy, among others in geography is concerned. Any question up to this point? Any question? That brings us to the end of the whole course, teaching geography. Any question or contribution or observation? I have received an email to submit your questions. So I'm working on them. When are you taking the quiz one?
Next week.
From 11th April.
11th April.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Does it mean that after next week?
I think Next week will be practicals. We don't have. Then after the Easter break.
Oh, okay.
Yes, after the Easter break.
Okay. So I think that we'll end it here, and maybe which one is getting close, then I'll send the areas to you. Or what do you think?
Doc,
I think
please,
that
the area for the quiz one so that we can go through. Thank you.
You want the areas for the quiz one now?
Yes, Doc, so that we can prepare totally ahead of it.
Hey, channel Joe, 1% I did bet you. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so for quiz one, you have they are all multiple choice. 20 multiple choice. Okay, so they have 20 multiple choice. This time there's no true or false. Why? Eh?
okay, doctor.
Yes, Doc.
And it is unit one. You have unit one, and unit two. Yes, it's on unit one and unit two.
Okay, Doc. Thank you.
Yeah. So those things with the standard base, those global approach to geography, those especially those features, principles, the dosism, descent.
Sir, so
Yes, please.
please, you will be giving us the one for the exams when exam is approaching.
When it's getting close, you just have remind me. Oh, you want
Okay.
everything now? If you want everything, I can give it to you too, so that I'll be free.
Oh, sir, no, you with the exams, we will schedule a class for us, please.
Stephen or Kasana and I say why.
Sir,
Yeah.
Hey, Stephen,
sir,
Uh, uh I see say Apple the door now.
ɛnyɛ ɔno nko ara na ɛhyɛ fie ɛnyɛ ɔno nko ara ɔne obi na ɛwɔ hɔ nti ɔmpɛ sɛ obehu.
Okay, so it's the first quiz on unit one and unit two. So it's basically on the standard base, the global perspective, those principles, then the tools. So like I said, it's purely multiple choice. All of them you have answers to select from. There's no true or false. Hey, Samuel, edu say poku. Upa say yate unkasa ubate unchen.
it's like now, no, he wants to take your position, no.
Sana aboniti o. Edu baby a. Is that because of that in the earpiece I'm using my was say ba kuna me dey ama na akoto foforo. Enso still na be dey na no person otwe. Anyway, so we'll end it here, and we'll continue tomorrow with that of the methods as well. So thank you very much for your time, and have a good morning, so that I also can prepare and go for the program I have. Okay, so thank you very much, and have a
Chris,
fruitful
I
day.
offer. Yeah, now over. Chris, yeah, now over. Chris, yeah, now over. Chris, Ben.
Yes, Quancha DFA and said then the sika.
And the time they do the most of camera near who be anymore. Na sana beno.
Steven, Mr. Steven,
Yeah, yes, sir.
please, how far with that situation? That's the organs of government.
Yeah, I called the rep yesterday to discuss that, but then he promised to call me today. So if any feedback, I'll put it inside the group.
So what are you going to write? You've not learned anything. Huh?
Yes, I have told him to get you guys the slides. So let's wait and see.
You give his contact to me, but I don't know him. I don't have his contact. I'll chat you offline so that you give me his contact.
Steve, good morning. Steve, are you around? Hey, Steve, are you around? Steve.
Set Kwenu, Kasabi.
Steve, please, are you there?
Steve is gone. Oh. Steve is gone. Far gone.
I wanted him to send me the slides for microeconomics.
Oh.
Okay, do you have it?
No, I don't.